You fucker, come on. Now, how big of a pain is it going to be to get the yoke off? I do not have a yoke for me. Could be worse. Now they actually make a puller that goes through. I don't have one, but that goes through, and just a thread sits here, and it's get your impact and it sucks it right off. But you can see here where the rubber's collapsing. You know, you're supposed to have a nice gap that you can see through. Starting to get squished down, that allows this to bounce, you know. So next up, we got 2 bolts here, and then this whole drive line will drop down. I'll see if I can get a jack stand to support it. Then we pull this metal ring off. We pull the rubber off to expose the bearing. If we got a 3-jaw puller that's big enough, or if I can find one, we might be able to actually suck it off, but I've never really had that much luck with that. Usually we got to take the torch, set stuff on fire, burn everything off, and then heat the inner race really hot, and it will, you know, it'll expand and then slide off. And then we clean everything up with emery cloth, and then put anti-seize all over everything, put her back together, and yeah, should be done. Come on. It's pretty sad that the only reason why you got to replace one of these is because the rubber gets beat out of it. I mean, this bearing here will work loose eventually, or, you know, because it's non-greasable, it will fail eventually, but 90% of the time it's always the rubber. So now might be able to get a bearing splitter or a 3-jaw puller, so we'll see what we can come up with. So I came up with a 2-jaw puller. Obviously it's not as good as a 3-jaw, but we'll see what happens if it actually works. I know it's kind of at an angle, but sometimes you do what you got to do. But if it actually works, I'm buying a lottery ticket, because I've never had this actually work before. I've always had to torch these fuckers off all the time, every time. I don't know why the fuck it's not. Wow! I'm buying a lottery ticket. Look at that. Yeah! Like I said, I've always had to torch these off. And they become quite interesting because you can see obviously all the grease in it. And yeah. Because what I'd have to do is torch the outside off, knock all the ball bearings out of it, and you heat this inner race, and then it slides off. But cool. Now let me tell you about my best friend here. Some of you do not know what this is, but you should. The other thing is, as soon as you open up this bottle, you turn into the Tin Man real quick. But we'll goop that on there all nice and good like. We'll put her on the splines. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Some might say that's too much, but just like when your old lady gets wet, you can never have too much. Look at that. Oh yeah. That way when it fails next time, I can take it apart a little easier. Make it easier for the next guy, because also that next guy will probably be you. I will drive that on. Where's my hammer? Where's my hammer? Where's my drift? I ain't gonna happen. What do we got? I hate tool steel on tool steel. See if we can get the yoke started now. So the other thing that you need to pay attention is driveline timing. What that is you see the yoke right here on the drive shaft is at a certain angle. Well, you need to match the rear up with that so it's in time. If you don't, you'll get a severe vibration and weird noise and all that sorts of stuff too. So I've seen it before where guys have changed U-joints out or changed yokes, you know, because the yokes wear out or anything like that. Or like these full round caps. Where are we here? These full round caps, the top plates break and then the U-joint end will actually spin in the yoke and wear them out. But I've seen guys, you know, put them at a different angle. So like, you know, instead of being like this matched up with the drive shaft, they got it clocked a different way and it causes a weird vibration. But so you want your top of the U-joint to match the top of the U-joint on whatever shaft you're running or working on and stuff like that. So we'll get it all timed up and put the yoke nut on and get her all back together. So as I was saying with the U-joint or the drive shaft timing, you can see the top of the U-joint cap here matches up with that one down there on that end of the drive line. So we're in time, it'll be balanced, we don't have to worry about anything. Now we can actually use the nut here. We should replace the nut, but I did not order one. I do have some Loctite on the inside of it, so we will be okay as far as that goes. So This is my truck. If as a customer's, I'd definitely be putting a new one on, but you know, one of those things. You guys that work on stuff or work on your own stuff, you know how it is. If you can get by with it, you'll get by with it. So what we will actually do, and I noticed we got some pretty severe corrosion on the shanks of these carrier bearing bolts, so we'll replace these. We'll get it hung up above. I'll take the 1-inch tire gun, buzz this yoke on, put it all together. So now that we got that hung up with some new bolts, we will get Big Bertha here. 1-inch cheater gun. Put her on full chooch in the right tight position. Hold her up above my head. Find an anchor. There we go. And what I also do is I'll take a punch. You can see it's already been done here and here. I'll take a punch and peen that just to be all hunky-dory. And just like that, guys, we got a new carrier bearing.